Welcome to Adom Home Cooking. Today we are preparing carrot stew. So these are the ingredients. Our main ingredients is carrot. I have my spring onion, my chili pepper. I love cooking with bay leaves, but if you don't have bay leaves, you can do without it. I have my bay leaf, my onion, red pepper, and my seasoning, which is salt, all purpose seasoning, aroma, curry powder. And this is my meatballs. If you want to know how to make these meatballs, you can refer to my previous videos where I prepare meatball stew. It's the same process. So this is just the minced beef that I seasoned, and then I make it into balls, and then I stir fry it. So the main purpose is we are going to prepare this stew with no tomato. So I'm making red stew with no tomato. We are using carrots and some mixed pepper. I'm using the red one. You also have the green one or the yellow one, but because I want my stew to be red like that of tomato, I'm using the red pepper. So because this carrot is hard, it's a bit hard to blend raw like this, I'm going to cut it up into small bits. I also have my Maggi tablets here for taste. So I'm just going to roughly chop my carrot and then stir fry it or blanch it before I'll blend it to make my stew. So my cooking pot is, I just put my cooking pot on now, and then I'll roughly chop the carrots. I'm using 3 medium carrots. So I'll roughly chop my carrots. I just changed my knife. Roughly chop your carrots. So I'm just roughly chopping my carrot. Roughly chop your carrot and then put it in your cooking pot. So I'm going to start stir frying my vegetables, starting with the carrot because it's the one that is a bit hard to blend, and I want it a bit soft. I want it tender before I can blend it. So I'll start with the carrot. I'm going to go ahead, chop my mixed pepper and onion and add to this pot. So this is my large onion. I'm going to use half of this onion. It's been washed, all clean. So I'll roughly chop the onion as well and add to my cooking pot with the carrots. I'm just going to blanch all these vegetables or steam them before I blend to make my stew. I'll now add the carrot add my onion to the carrot. I'm going to add all these ingredients to one pot. And this is the pepper. I'll take off the cord, take the cord out, or the seed out, roughly chop it and add to your pot as well. So I'm not adding any oil to this pot because I'm just blanching it or steaming it. So this is my pepper, carrot and onion. And I can also add my scotch bonnet, the pepper, the chili pepper. I'll steam it together. The vegetable itself contains water already, so I'm going to steam this vegetable in its own water. That's why I'm not adding any oil yet. Just steaming it or blanching it, and then I'm going to blend it and use it for my stew. I'll cook this for about, this will cook for about, depending on the quantity of the stew you are making, as this much of stew, I'm just going to blanch this for 5 minutes. It will be soft enough for me to blend. So if you are steaming your veg, which is the carrots, the pepper and the onion, you cover it. But if you want to just blanch it or stir fry it, you leave it on a very low heat and stir it continuously. But if you are just steaming it, because the vegetable itself, I want to steam it in the vegetable on its own, so I just cover it, turn the heat very low, and then cover it so it steams. So it's just like you are steaming the vegetable. You can also prefer to add a little bit of water. It's up to you, just to get the vegetables tender, especially the carrot, before you blend it. Now my carrot is tender enough that I can blend in my food processor or the blender. So I'm going to set this aside. Push another pot on. This is the pot I'm going to use for my stew. So I'm going to slice my onions now. I'm just going to slice enough onion now for my stew. Okay, I'm using this much onion. Sorry, I forget to mention the cooking oil. You can use any type of oil at all, just as you are making tomato stew. But this one you're using carrot, onion and pepper. So I'm just going to use 2 ladles of vegetable cooking oil. Okay. Once my onion is frying, I will now add my garlic and ginger. Just a little bit of garlic and ginger to my steamed vegetable, and I blend it in a blender. So this is my blanched vegetable or steamed vegetable, the pepper, onion and the carrot. With this, I need a bit more water to add to this so that it will be easy to blend. So I'll add a little bit of cold water. So now I'm adding a little cold water to my vegetable so I can blend it. So I'll now add my garlic and ginger. Add a little bit of garlic and ginger, which is optional. And then I'll blend this. Meanwhile, I'm frying my onions. My onion is frying. So I'll now add my vegetables to the onion and cook. So tomato-less stew, Dom Home Cooking Special. Now I've added my vegetables and I'm going to add my bay leaf. So at this stage I add my bay leaf and turn my heat down and cook on a very slow heat. I'll stir it occasionally. This is going to take about 15 to 20 minutes. For the first half, like 10 minutes, and then I'll add my seasoning, my meatballs, and then you'll get there. So this is the carrot stew. As you can see, it's almost ready. That's why you see the oil coming up. If you're making stew and the oil is coming up on top, that means the water is all dried up. So at this stage, I'm going to add my meatballs. Add my meatballs. And then my curry powder. Just a little bit of curry powder. My Maggi tablet, Maggi cube. You can use any type of stock cube at all. I'm using Shrimp's Maggi cube. So I'll make sure I add all my spices before I taste, and if I need more taste, I'll add salt. I'll add all my spices first because they all contain salt, and taste it before adding salt. I mean table salt. I need a bit more seasoning now, so I'm just going to add a little bit more of my all-purpose seasoning. And a pinch of salt now. And then you stir. As you can see, my meatball is also ready. So I'm just going to cook it for 5 more minutes and my carrot stew will be ready. So at this stage, I'm just going to chop my spring onions. If you don't like the spring onion, don't add it. I love my spring onion, so I'm just going to add spring onion to my stew. And this stew can be served with your white rice, your boiled yam and cocoa. You can even have it with eba or spaghetti. You cook your pasta, it goes with everything like that. You see, my stew is ready now. Just give it a few minutes for the spring onion to cook through a bit. I just take a bowl. So you can see our stew is ready. That's why the oil is all coming up like that. The water is all dried out. My stew is ready. Carrot stew, at home cooking special. This is tomato-less stew, you know. Without tomato, you can make stew. Wow, it's looking good and it tastes so good as well. You can have this with your boiled pasta, spaghetti, boiled white rice, even boiled yam and cocoa. At home cooking special carrot stew.